wanted to add some context to church and what I got from God as well. I'm going to do another video on that because I kept getting, when I was praying, and this is, I've been got this, and then a lot of people start talking about it. So when I was praying one day, it's probably sometime last month, maybe at the beginning of last month, I forgot I wrote it down, I have to go back. But when I was praying, I kept getting Jehu and Adonijah. People are going to come to realize what true men and women of God are, right? So people are going to slowly but surely or quickly become aware of who's who, and they're going to call you out. Because that's what Jehu did. He called stuff out and put it into it. So people were going to call people out and put it into it. And if you know who Adonijah was, Adonijah tried to usurp the throne and give himself a title and position that was not his, that he was not appointed for. Because he was next in line according to birth. But how many of y'all know that don't matter to God? And Adonijah knew this, and this is the thing. If you read the story, Adonijah knew he ain't have next. So these people know that they ain't prophets. These people know that they're not true men and women of God, and you will be called out because of what God is doing and what he has to do. And this happens every generation. New people will be appointed, brought up to bring to the surface things that need to be brought to the surface because the previous generations, they just didn't know. Things are different. What I've come to find out with churches, because I used to be a church hopper, because everybody doesn't see the same. And heck, a lot of people can't even see. And that's no disrespect. We all don't have the same gifts. What I've come to figure out is that there are levels to churches. You have your elementary, middle school, high school, collegiate, and master level of churches. And that's crazy. That makes up fivefold, right? And I've come to realize that again, this is no disrespect because you know they only have what they have, which is why he then sends people, and those are the people that are ignored, right? Because some men only have one gift. Some men only have one gift. So, from what I've gathered, for the most part, that one gift is just them hearing God. They only can hear. Most of the time, that's how they get the message, the sermon, whatever. So, and again, there's nothing to talk down about the church. We can't do that because God said he gives some men one gift, right? So since they can only hear, they can't see, and that's just, it is what it is. And since they can't see spiritual things, they can't talk about it. So that limits them a lot. But again, they were only given one gift anyway. And I'm sorry, I think I put my ponytail way too tight. Then to add on to that, what God then does, he'll send them forward. But then guess what? The man of God himself, he's still a true man of God or woman of God. They themselves have the spirit of unawares, is what I like to call it. They're completely unaware of the four that God sent. And the four that God sent ain't wrapped up how they would want them to be wrapped up. So then what happens is those people sit in their audience, and a lot of people aren't even aware, right? And that's also sometimes what happens is a lot of people that are unaware of who they are or have had things happen to them that they can't make sense of find themselves in the elementary school church or in the middle school church. And this is everybody, not just children and women of God. Sometimes you find yourself in the elementary school situation when you know it's like God clearly made you a mastery, like, and you feel like, yo, this ain't it, this ain't for me. It's not meant for me to be here. It's not meant for me to be in this program. It's not meant for me to do this. So then they themselves can never get fed until they find the right church. And then the sad part about it is a lot of people, and Christians as well, have what I like to call the spirit of unawares. They're not listening to their dreams and paying attention to their dreams, to what God done told you to move. And then this the other thing that happens is that people begin to idolize these elementary school, middle school pastors. And again, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with them. But sometimes it's just meant for you to move. So then people get attached to a church, they get attached to a man or a woman of God, and they're stuck in the same place for too long. And that aids against your growth, right? And you growing into who God really wants you to be. Which is why churches have become so dry. Now, I grew up in churches that I haven't seen a lot of power in, and it's just my story. When I was younger, I know I've heard stories of people who saying they grew up in a Kojic church or Pentecostal, and they always were able to come to church and see the move of God, seeing demons, healings, and people falling out every which way. I just don't recall that at all. And that's okay. That's okay. We all grow. But I think I think that's the issue. But even me remember Daniel Adams' story, powerful true man of God. He even said he sat in a church for 15 years, gifted beyond measure, waiting like this. Hey, it's me. I came. Hey. 15 years. So he said, you know what? I can't do this no more. I'm about to do what God wants me to do. He went out and evangelized that way and did what it was about his father's business, right? But then my thing is, even outside of the fivefold ministry, you have watchmen that are shunned. You have Jehus that are shunned. You have people that really, I was going to say have the church's back, but have God's back. And people forget that not only were you made with a specific attitude, but you were made with a specific vigor as well. We all are. And they're vigorous for Him. And look up the difference between attitude and vigor. And again, some people don't know who they are, will cease to know who they are until they start paying attention to God, until somebody confirms them, or either until they go to a church that confirms them. Because again, some people can see, some people can't. That man couldn't see. That's why he couldn't see you. Now it's sad because that's God's added protection that was sent to you to further His house. right? To well, even further his house, but to further strengthen his house, right? I don't know. It's just a lot of men and women of God are going to have to get beyond themselves. Because you got some preachers that will stand on the pulpit, and mind you, some people have all five, so I can't be mad at that. But some preachers have one gift and they just hog the stage. And it's like some people will say, I'm just hearing the same thing at church. I just feel like I'm not being spiritually fed. I don't know. Something ain't right. Not that something ain't right feeling is always right. Because sometimes it be the devil trying to keep you away from healing and from a person, from the church. But sometimes that feeling is just like, yo, it's just I'm just hungry for more. And that's what people are experiencing. There's just been a wave of hunger for God, for the truth, for the true God. And people are waking up. People are sick and tired of the dryness. People are sick and tired of coming to church, leaving the same way. People are tired of coming to church and not seeing the move of God, because that should be in every church. The sheep that you are supposed to shepherd. Because even the Bible said this demon goeth out by only prayer and fasting. I mean,